Hey there folks, this is GreenyXI welcoming you to Let's Play Rain episode 11, and this is actually going to be the last ever episode of Let's Play Rain. I am going to be making a review episode as well at some point. Actually, it might be a part of this episode and then I'll just cut it out and whatever. So. I had to say a lot there before it even started. I should have cut that out a bit, but there we go. Now let's find out exactly what that light is all about, shall we folks? Oh, my leg. There's a hell of a lot of story progression in this episode, as you can expect for a last episode. And we got away from the unknown, got to the light where he can't do anything to us. Right? Ooh, he's shut in the doors. He'll never be killed. We better do something about that, I think. Or not? Yeah. Me trying to escape. Why didn't they just run into the sun? Wouldn't that have made the most sense? Maybe they prefer to kill off the leader of all the enemies instead, you know? That way, if anyone else gets trapped there somehow, they won't be around. Yeah, we're not leaving yet. We gotta pull the enemy into the proper sunlight instead of just in this beam of sunlight. Go! Gotta find her. Fortunately, I found her straight away. I'm not sure how. Yeah, she's really hard to see in the sun. So what are we gonna do now? What can we do? Try to take over the world. Or just try and open the door. One of the two. I got a bit stuck outside for a moment. My eagerness to escape. Time to open the other door, letting more sunlight in. And looking at this point, this game reminds me a lot of Ico. Those who have played it, it's like the game before, Shadow of the Colossus. Same people, you know. Just the prettiness of it and the simplicity. Let's do the final thing to get rid of this enemy then, folks. Drag it into the sun. Here we go. Poor guy. Poor guy. Not quite done with the game yet, still. They're not going to escape out into the sun. I think, well, their thought process is definitely to get back to their houses, now that everything is safe. So, just shut the doors, and shut the enemy out. If he's possibly still alive, but knowing that thing, who knows? Oh, there he is. Keep pushing. You'd think that you'd have to press the push button every time push came up, like modern QTEs do. No, you just keep pressing the push button, keep it held down all the way through the little cinematic thing. Oh no! Can't quite see what's going on. The girl's desperately trying to get a boy from under the enemy, but no. Bitch. She's such a traitor. He sacrificed his chance to go to both his house and the sunlight through that door just now, but instead sacrificed those opportunities to save her. But she's just running away when it comes to being the other way round. And this is what makes such simple characters so so good. Even though there's nothing to them, you can still feel the emotion and personality behind them. And the more he struggled and everything, the more he came back to being a proper person. So he ended up fine. Whereas she is still invisible, potentially because she left him alone. Do you think she deserves that? To be stuck in the realm of nightmares and everything? Because of that betrayal? Okay, cinematics. Hey there folks, I thought I'd make a little review of Rain for you while the credits are running. So, here it comes. I think there are plenty of positives about the game, which would include the simplicity of it for a start. I mean, nobody could argue that it's no big blockbuster game with all the usual tricks and generics and sort of gimmicks. It doesn't have a sort of cast of big characters with big personalities. In fact, it doesn't have hardly any characters and doesn't have hardly any blatant personality to any of the characters, but they still seem to ooze charisma and everything. As well as that, there's an overwhelming sense of emotion and characterization, regardless of there being no speech or any full-on personality, like I said. Another positive, okay, so there are a variety of locations. A couple of them are just the town, which you see a couple of times now and again, but there are plenty of different locations as well, such as the circus, the bridge, the sewers, the church, the factory. You know, there's plenty of things to keep it going, and I like that about it. It makes it very different. There's also the stunning soundtrack, including the vocals that we just heard in the end cinematics. And in the opening cinematics, I'm pretty sure there were some as well. And finally, are the graphics. They're not brilliant. Like I said, this is no big blockbuster game. It probably had a tight budget because it's indie-ish, you know? It's an indie-ish game from Sony, yeah. But for the money it probably had, it has fine. The graphics are fine, you know? They work well and they're not blurry or anything like that. Negatives. Okay, so there are a few negatives. Even though I love this game so much, there are bound to be negatives in every game. So, some of the gameplay is a bit bland and overused. Like, in the last chapter or two, mainly chapter 7, where you're just going around this strange town where the tree roots are, where you have to climb around the tree roots and the buildings and everything. I found that good at first, when it first started happening in the game, but then half hour later it's still happening, and it's still pretty much exactly the same, you know? So I found that a bit bland. Yeah. Another negative, not much variety of enemies either. There are quite a few. I mean, considering it's only a short game, maybe this isn't much of a negative because you don't see them all that much. But towards the end, again, you see the main unknown a little bit too much, I think. Even though he's the master of the enemies, I think. So I think there could have been a few different types of enemies as well. There are... yeah, I think more of the circus could have been shown instead of just the big top. Such as more sideshows, maybe. Maybe there could have been a mini game or two, even if it's just for a trophy or something. Or maybe like emotive scenes with the boy and the girl playing in the sideshows. I think that would have been really nice. Like is shown in loads of movies when a boy and a girl are together and go to a fun fair or carnival or whatever. I think something like that would have been really nice and built upon the relationship a bit more. Also, there's not much replayability. Not really. I've heard that you can play through it a second time and it will have more... there will be collectibles around the town and everything for you to collect and see little memories of the boy and the girl. So that would be a second playthrough, which I'm personally going to give a go, you know. I'm going to go and try and find all those collectibles, get another trophy or two, find out more about the boy and the girl, because you don't find that much out, except for where they live, sort of. Another negative, the high price. It's £10 for essentially a 5 or 6 hour game, or, you know, roughly that. I think it's too much to pay right now. Once it goes down in price, it'll be a perfect game. Overall, I will give it a 9 out of 10. I loved it so much, and I think other people will too. Although I can see it being one of those games which are just not played that much, even though it's great. Hope you've enjoyed the review. Okay, so that's the credits over with. I did mainly make that review for a separate video, but it's here as well in case you've been watching the series and wanted one. The collectibles that have been unlocked that I was mentioning in the review are these. You need to find them as you wander around the town, you know. So, I'm going to give that a go on my own. I don't think it would be very interesting to see a second playthrough just to find those memories, you know. So, I have been GreenyXI. I hope you've enjoyed. I'll see you again, hopefully back in Final Fantasy 6. I don't know if you'd be watching that, but it's there. Hope you've enjoyed the series. In a bit.